friends from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your closing bell for Friday, May 13th, 2022. Happy Friday the 13th. I hope everyone survived as we get closer to first pitch, NBA game 6 and 7, NHL game 6. And potentially 3 game 7s tomorrow, and there could be a couple on Sunday. And if the Celtics win tonight, there'll be a game 7 on Sunday as well. 1.5-point dogs right now, and Scott Foster is out. So everyone using the Scott Foster angle, he has non-COVID issues, and the ref that took his place just will tell you the Celtics are 14-0 when this guy refs. So take it for whatever you want. But a couple games about to start in about 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to bring Scott in right now, see if he has anything on those right now so we can get you to the window. Otherwise, I'll chat for a few minutes. So without further ado, let's bring him in. Mr. Scott E. Webb. Afternoon, Scotty.
Hey, Jeff. How are you today, my friend?
It's the end of the week. It's Groundhog Day here for the last 8 years, but that's what we signed up for. I did just say, and I'm just going to ask you, do you have any insight on Cincy, Pittsburgh, or Milwaukee and Miami to share, or do we start on another topic?
Well, I'm not going to play either one of those two games. Maley and Keller's in one of those little flip situations where the last time they played each other, those are the two teams that they started against each other, and Keller threw a game score 29, so that means he's probably going to pitch pretty good tonight. I don't like Pittsburgh that well tonight, but I can't discredit the fact that he's probably going to pitch good. So that eliminates that game for me. And then the Burns and Lopez game, the way I look at that is you got to be on Milwaukee, not on Miami. Even though I love Lopez, Lopez off a game score 78. Burns off a game score 56. They both have a 66 year to date. The numbers metric wise are pretty close. Burns wins all of them. But it's a flip of the coin, whoever scores first. I mean, if you're gonna play that game, I guess you would play Miami as an underdog, or if you were gonna play first 5 and just hope they scratch a run against Lopez or something. I'm just gonna stick. There's no value in there for me.
It's a decent menu. I guess right off the bat, I don't want to say, I was talking to my buddy Sean, who's in San Francisco for his son's wedding today. Congrats, Tyler Childs, as you're about to get married. My buddy Sean and I were talking as Clayton Kershaw has left the building and gone on the IR, and we were talking, and it's not that we didn't respect Clayton Kershaw, because if you're a baseball fan and you don't respect what he has done, well, you're not watching the same games that we do. But off season, is he going to retire? Is he going to sign an extension? Is he going to get Tommy John? Is he injured? Yeah, whatever you wanted to bring up. He came out guns a-blazing, lights out. Go back to that game that he had, 7 perfect innings, and I think he have like 70 pitches or something stupid like that. And then he breaks the record, the strikeout record. And now he's on the IR. Bueller is starting there, but I kind of think it's a good time. Not that it's a fake injury or nothing. Don't get me wrong there, but maybe a precautionary, because they don't need him right now. That's what I'm trying to get at. They don't need him. You want him for the playoff run. You want him for the, obviously, hopefully the NLCS and the World Series. And I'm not saying he's coming back in August or September, but it might be a good time for a little break.
Well, I heard the manager there talking about him, Roberts, today. And this is a back problem. So it's not an arm problem. It's not a knee problem. It's not a leg problem. And you know how he's got that goofy ass motion. So he's always had those, ailing back kind of problems. So that's kind of what this is. But what my understanding was, and I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to go operate on anybody today. It's like a 2-3 week problem. It's not like something that's a major problem for him. So at his age, and I think this is a good little break for him. Let the other guys pitch a little bit, even if they got to throw some bullpen games. And the way they described it is that with the way that they've been playing, actually with him moving out of this spot and then moving Bueller in and moving everybody up a spot, the only problem they're going to run into is Tuesday next week. They have a doubleheader, and they'll bring up a guy to pitch in that game. But they're pitching on the right rest right now. So everybody was getting 1 day extra, and now that he's bumped out of the rotation, they shouldn't have any issues pitching. They've done really well, and they're the number one pitching team in Major League Baseball. So, to say they can get afford to be without him, I think is the truth. And as long as they're not away from him for 4 months, and I think 2 weeks is at his age, that just takes, what is that? 4, that's like 4 starts, 5 starts probably. So 4 starts, we'll say it's 6 innings. That's 24 innings off of his arm that he don't have to throw no more. So for him, that's probably helpful.
I remember a handful of years ago when I think the very first time he had the back problem, and then they had that game or series in Australia, and he sat on his wallet the wrong way, and then that seemed like to open up the floodgates there. But wishing him the best and the Dodgers the best.
Well, at least he didn't fight with one of them sprinkler heads like one of them other guys did.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers will be fine there. I'm going to bring up today's board. I'll bring up, I'm just looking around here. I'll bring up Wager Talk. So it seems it's easier on the eyes. Go to wagertalk.com/free odds and follow along if you want to. I'm going to just quickly go through the eye test for everyone here. Boston, Milwaukee, like I said, Milwaukee opened at 1.5, still 1.5. Gut. I talked to a couple people today, and there's a few games you can do this, okay? If you like the Celtics tonight, why would you take them plus 1.5, minus 110, when you can get them plus 210 to win the series right now? Now, let me tell you, I'm not telling you they're going to win Game 7. I will tell you they'll be 4-point favorites and minus 160, and Milwaukee will be plus 140 or 135. So my point is you could get a guaranteed 35 cents, 40 cents, or if the Celtics won today and on Sunday, you would get plus 2-1 on your money. So again, I think the Celtics find a way. I'm worried obviously about Game 7, but you got to win Game 6 to get to Game 7. Memphis, Golden State. This number's at 8.5. It's attracting Memphis money. Listen, I don't know why Golden State just didn't save on the air miles and just tell them we're not going to show up in Memphis. At one point, they were down 55, lose by 40 or whatever. And the crowd and everyone got into it. There were some good memes out there. I'll just say this very nicely. I'm rooting for Memphis. I hope they beat Golden State. I think that won't happen. And I think Golden State will remember all the shenanigans that went on. And I wouldn't be shocked to see them win by a landslide, but I am staying far, far away from that game. In the MLB today, for my eye test, again, obviously Lopez looks very, very nice as a home dog, but it's there for a reason. I couldn't get into this game.
Look at that total. It's down to 6.
Yeah, down to 6 and spot. And these games that you think are going to be like this are usually 4-3 after 3 or something stupid like that. I think it's going to be a great game. I know I'll be watching that. This one surprised me. Darvish and Fried opened at 145. Again, my eyes are telling me they're begging for Darvish and Padre money. I lean Fried here. They were getting some Padre money earlier today. It looks like the Fried money's coming in now. It's as high as 150 at DraftKings. Hicks was scratched yesterday and pitched today. Webb opened up at 130. That's a statement to me. I know Scotty's a Webb guy. San Fran's bats have woken up. It's going to be a great series. I just got to trust that opening number. I think San Fran finds a way there. Cubs in Arizona. I mean, Arizona just hanging around, and in come the Cubs. I am not, I repeat, not a Smiley fan. Arizona now 17-15. Cubs are at 11-19. I mean, I lean Arizona. Money is coming in, and the number is dropping on the Cubs there. We talked about Bueller and Gibson. Opened at 225, now 210. I think Erod first five is a hell of a play and some value, though. Baltimore's been very, very successful first five this year. I like the spot here for Detroit. I think the bats wake up, and Erod's had pretty good success over his history against Baltimore. Gosman, Tampa, Scotty, I know you'll talk about this game. Gosman's been lights out, and the Rays are struggling, and they opened up 125. I think Rays bats wake up. I think you can get a good first five here with Gosman today. Boston and Texas. How bad is Boston? They're underdogs to Texas. Pavetta pitched lights out. I know you must have a big game score on him his last game against Dunning. Listen, I'm rooting for the Sox, but Vegas is telling me Texas will find a way. And I suck at totals, guys. I suck at totals. But to me, this is a double-digit total. I think I said this last Friday on the Texas game, and the final score was 3-2. So take it for a grain of salt there. Minnesota with Gray open at 170 against Savali, down to 154. I don't have a good feel for this game at all. Cole and White Sox. Now, listen, the Yankees destroyed Cease. Destroyed him. And now in comes their ace, and he's -1. He opened at 165. Now he's -180, Scott. I'm not a Velasquez fan. I'm just telling you, it's Friday. It's Fade the Public. It's payday. I think the White Sox are sneaky here. I'm not stepping in front of that train, though. I'm not. But I think we're overdue for one of those Cole hiccups. It's just me. Angels, Oakland, no thanks. Even though Angels are – they're top of the lineup, stupid. 1 through 5, 1 through 6. You add Marsh in there. Holy shit. I know nothing about this pitcher, Scotty. I know you'll help me out there. Houston, Washington. The Gray kid's been okay. Houston's on a roll, not stepping in front of this train, but I think Houston first five is sneaky there. But Washington and Gray's been okay. Seattle and the Mets. I don't know if this is a landmine or gold mine. I'm not a Gonzalez fan. I think the Mets are offensively should do okay today, even though it's down to a 7 in a few spots. Scherzer has shown some leaks of late. I don't think Seattle's that team to do it against them. And then Greinke versus Colorado at Colorado. Money coming in on Kansas City. And the saying on gambling Twitter, very simply, is Freeland home bet the under, and it's 10.5. Board's yours, Scotty.
Look at that. Look at the first five number for Scherzer today. -0.5, -160 or something like that.
That's telling me, but again, that's way too much, tax to be going in on a
No.
first five.
I'm not saying bet it. I'm saying, they're going to start pricing us out of some of these first five bets.
They did. The one thing DraftKings does give you the option usually on those numbers to lay the one, so you got to win by the safety or more. It is an option to get into one of those. If they're up by one, you just push and move on. So,
all right. So I stayed off of Houston yesterday. And I stayed off of Houston yesterday because they played that weird setup where they played that resume game, and they hit the ball in that game. So you would almost think they wouldn't hit the ball in the next game. They won 5-0.
We lost there.
So I'm sitting here going, I should have been on them, so I'm going to get on them today. And I was looking at trying to get into this game, and I know it's sitting at 144 or something like that. Well, my number on this game says, where's my thing at? Here it is my number says Houston by a lot more than that. So I like Houston in the value at 144. So I'm not going to try to get out of it. I'm going to pay it. And the reason I'm going to pay it is because I'm getting way more value at 144 than I think that they should be giving me. I'm looking at a team now. Houston's won 10 straight games. Houston is a team that has surpassed the Angels in the division, and they are moving forward. And you got the Nationals who are going to lose 100 games. So I think this should be well above the 144 number. It should at least be 160 to 180, somewhere in there. They don't like to give minus 200 on the road to these teams. So I'm going to take Valdez here, and I'm going to take him at minus the 144. Now, he's been a pretty solid pitcher. He's like a number one for them, but that's Verlander's spot. So I like the idea that he's going to step in as a number two. Now, Gray's had his moments where he's pitched pretty well. His last time out, he threw a 39, so that's not very good. But he's had a string of those. So I'm not necessarily sitting here thinking he's going to throw a great game today. And he's a strikeout pitcher, and Houston don't strike out much. So I think you're going to see balls in play. I think you're going to see Valdez pitch pretty well, and I think you're going to see Houston win this game. So I'm not going to change the number. I'm not going to have to try to cover the run line. I'm not going to play the first five, none of that. I'm just going to play it straight out and say, okay, Houston wins the game minus 144 and move on. That Baltimore game with Lyles and Rodriguez, I agree that I like Rodriguez here. My concern is, and I just don't like to bet on bad offenses right now, and Detroit's one of those. And not only are they playing bad offense, they don't seem to be playing good defense. So what I do like is I like the idea that Rodriguez, his left on base percentage, Jeff, is 44%. That's not going to stay that way. It's going to go up. I mean, the average, your average there is about 72, 71, something like that. So he's well off of that. So guys are going to get stranded. He's going to leave guys on base. So he's going to get better. His numbers, his metrics are fine. His metrics are good. I just don't like the fact that they haven't hit. And Baltimore, for whatever the reason, they've started to hit. So they've been scoring a lot of runs, and in I think it's the last 12 games, or maybe it's the 14 games. They're like 12 and 4, something like that, 12 and 6. They've been playing pretty good. So I think you got a clash of a team that's playing pretty well against a team that hasn't played pretty well. I think you got a good pitcher going against Lyles. He's terrible. So but can Detroit take advantage of it? And right now, I don't know that they can. So I'm going to stay away from that one. That Seattle game, the Mets are going to win. They're going to win. Scherzer's going to dominate. By the way, I don't know if you saw it, but Kasalnik, whatever the hell the guy's name is for Seattle, he's now in the minor leagues. They sent him out today. But Gonzalez is terrible. I'm not going there though, because it's too high a price to pay for all that stuff. And then Toronto and Tampa Bay. This is an interesting game to me. Yandy Diaz, who's one of the better players for the Rays, is not playing tonight. He doesn't feel good, so they're sitting him. One of their I guess I shouldn't say stars, but one of their players that the reason that they moved one of the outfielders, Meadows, was because they wanted Lowe to play in the outfield. So he started out playing in the outfield. He's batting under 200, so they sent him down. So he's not even there on the team no more. So they're coming off of a 10-game swing out west, and they're 7-3. So that's pretty good. They won the last game, so they feel pretty comfortable coming into this game. But this is a different breed of pitcher they're going to face, and this is Gausman, and Gausman's been really, really good. And Rasmussen hasn't pitched past, say, 5 innings. And listening to Kevin Cash today, Kevin Cash said that's all we want. We only want him to throw 80, 85 pitches. He's not ever going to get to 100. He was a relief pitcher in Milwaukee. They stretched him out on kind of in a hurry last year. And they're not going to give him any more workload than that. So I think you got a better offense in Toronto. Not that they've been hitting lately, But I do like Kevin Gausman. I like him in this spot, and I don't think that you're getting a bad price at minus 120. I think it should be higher than that. So I'm playing Kevin Gausman minus, 125. The next game on the board is Pavetta and Dunning. And yes, Pavetta, oh no, I'm sorry. It's Darvish and Fried. So I'm just going in the order of time. So Darvish and Fried. This is an interesting game because Fried threw a game score 70 the last time, and Darvish a game score 62. Darvish has not been like an ace. If you really want to think about it, he's not the best pitcher on the Padres. So he fulfills that spot, but Musgrove has been a much better pitcher than Darvish has. And you've got Darvish lined up against Fried. So that's a mismatch. Fried's a better pitcher. Fried's an ace. Darvish is not. I'm not saying Darvish isn't going to have a good game. I'm just saying that it's a mismatch that way. But I don't like the price. I think the Padres are that still they're run by Hosmer and they're run by Machado. If you can get those two guys out, you're going to beat the Padres. And with the Braves, you got 8 million guys that can hit, and you got 8 million guys that can beat you. It's just whether they do or whether they don't. They haven't all clicked yet. I think they've been playing better since they got Acuna back. So I do like the Braves. I just don't like the price. And if Darvish is on, then your first 5 and you got to cover half a run. It might be 0-0, 1-1. So I don't like that number. So I'm just going to let that one ride. Now the Boston game I think is interesting because Pavetta game score 72 last time out, Jeff. And his game score for the season 42. So I expect him to have one of those kind of games back down there where he's supposed to be. And Dunning is, I don't know if people know who he is, but he was a young stud pitcher for the White Sox. And they got him in the Lance Lynn deal. And he's been decent, but not great. His game scores a 53 for the season, which is way better than 42 that Pavetta is. So he's a much better pitcher. He got his game score 66 last time. I wouldn't be surprised to see these two guys both get hit up a little bit here and see both of them get hit some. But I didn't play it. I didn't play the over there. It's hard to play an over when you have a team like Boston, who's one of the lower teams. Sorry, Jeff, one of the lower teams in offense right now. And when you're looking at Cleveland and Minnesota, I think this is all one-sided. This is all Minnesota. It's how do you get in the game? And, I think it's minus 150 or something like that. That's too high for me. Sonny Gray has only made 3 starts. He hasn't pitched 5 innings yet. So if you're going to play this game, the only way I would tell you to play it is probably first 5. Savali, he's not very good at all. His game score for the season is a 33. His metrics are really bad. Teams are batting .315 against him, for God's sakes. And shit, the team batting average is 234. So he's not fooling anybody. So they're going to hit him. But I don't like the price. So I stayed away from that one. I didn't even handicap the Cole game because it's out of hand. If you're going to play that game, you got to play the White Sox, and I'm not playing the White Sox just because it's like you said yesterday. I mean, they're playing against Cease. Cease gets 11 strikeouts, 12 strikeouts against the Yankees, and the Yankees still beat him. I mean, come on, I told you yesterday. The Yankees are the weirdest team because they really, if you look at them offensively, they aren't an offensive juggernaut. They just hit the home runs at the right times, and they got 2 guys on base, and boom, there goes a 3. They can score 3 runs. So they're not all hitting. So I think they'll hit Velasquez though. So I don't know. I am playing San Francisco and St. Louis. Hicks got moved. We talked about that yesterday. Hicks has not pitched 5 innings yet, so this is a bullpen game. What I'm going to call a bullpen game. He's going to go he's going to try to go 4 innings. I think he pitched 4 innings before. And then you're facing Webb. Now Webb's, I'm hesitant to call him an ace, but he had ace-like numbers last year. But his game score so far this year is a 54, which is pretty good. But he's off a game score 44, so I'm expecting him to bounce back, have a good start tonight. I think you can get him at a good line. And the St. Louis bullpen is 17th in all of baseball. So I like the idea that San Francisco's got a better pitcher on the mound, and when they take the better, when the other pitcher goes out, they're going to put the 17th best bullpen in. So I don't like the power differential between the two teams, but at the same time, Webb's a ground ball pitcher. So maybe that negates that. I got Webb at minus 121. I don't know if it's still that way, but that was a play there. And then looking at these other games, you got Greinke and Freeland. If I'm going to go in these games, you have to go Colorado, but again, that's too high a number for me. So I'm not going there. And Silseth, that's the kid pitching for the Angels today. So let me tell you, he's pitched 5 games so far in Double-A baseball for the Angels spring farm system. 26 innings is what he's got. His earned run average is 1.73. That's pretty good. And in those 26 innings, he's got 37 strikeouts. So this kid is like, holy shit. And he's got 7 walks. So he can control the plate. He can throw. What I'm surprised at when I looked at him and saw his numbers, I'm surprised that he's an 11th round draft pick in 2021. So they're ramping him up.
What's he top out at with his fastball?
I can't see it until it shows up for Major League Baseball. I can't see it in the minor league system. I would assume, based on 37 strikeouts in 26 innings, he's got to be throwing 95, 96 miles an hour. I would assume that. He's got 26 innings, only 5 hits. 15 hits. So he's been dominant, but now you got to remember this is Double-A baseball. And he's 5 games, 26 innings. So that's 5 innings. So I wouldn't expect him to go more than 5 innings tonight and then turn it over to bullpen. But when you try to put him in for a line on this game because you don't know what he's going to give you, you grade him as a 0. Then that means that he's just like a AAA player coming up. He's a call-up AAA player. And even with that, they're still a high number against the A's tonight. So I think he's going to do well. You never know about these kids, but I would assume he's going to do pretty good. So anyway, maybe that gives you a little bit of insight to who he is. Smiley and Davies. Smiley's off a game score 38. Davies off a game score 73. Means you're supposed to bet the Cubs. I don't want to bet the Cubs. And because it's Davies and he's a game score 73, he could get shelled tonight. I don't want to bet Arizona either. And then Kershaw got canned. You put whatever the other guy's name is in there, Bueller. And the only way I would play this is I would look at the Dodgers' first 5 here. Gibson's been really good though so far this season. So I'm passing on all of that. So I got 3 plays. I took Houston, Toronto, and San Francisco today.
All right. I'm going to go quickly to the hockey here, guys. Florida, Washington. Florida down 3-0. Game 5 at home. Rallied the troops to win 5-3. Washington's been a thorn. I think Florida has an opportunity to close this thing out, but if Washington gets out early again for the 98,000th time, I don't know if Florida can come back, so I'm staying away there. ECSI VIP, guys, we're sitting there with the Pittsburgh basically even series price. The Rangers have been favored in game 3 and 4 in Pittsburgh. They're favored again. They opened at 130, now 121. Listen, guys, I want to get this series over like you do. We had a 2-0 lead in game 5, and we lose. Sidney Crosby left the building, didn't come back. I don't know if he's playing today. I'm not going to play the minus 130. If he's actually, it just went to 130 at DraftKings. Maybe it is released that Sidney is not playing. I don't know, but that's all I'm telling you. We want to get rid of this game. If you're feeling froggy, you want to jump in on the Rangers. I know I released the Rangers for game 3 and 4. Pittsburgh scored a touchdown in both of those games. So we'll wait for game 7 if there is one on Sunday to see what happens. Calgary, Dallas. Calgary looking to close this one out. This kid in net for Dallas, Odenberg or something, was like their 3rd or 4th string goalie, has been phenomenal. This has been a hell of a series, 5.5 under. These guys have been playing 2-1, 3-2, real close, tight-knit games. I think Calgary can close them out. I wouldn't touch it, though. I'm rooting for Dallas in another game 7 on Sunday as well there. So a lot on the menu, a lot to we discussed in about 31 minutes time. Scotty, closing thoughts.
Getting ready to be into the weekend. I'm excited for the NFL. I know we didn't talk about the NFL today, but the NFL to come out with season win totals. Once season win totals come out from the major sports books, then I'll put together power ratings and some numbers, and I can get some lines set up for the week 1.
For myself, the weekend is here. It's Friday. Fade the public. The VIPs, you have your games for today. We have our action in the series in the NBA and NHL. Hoping to see the Penguins to close it out. Hoping the Celtics make it to a game 7 there. Hit upon the bases. Tomorrow morning, myself and Scott will be back for the breakfast bankroll. And then on Sunday morning, myself and Riley will be here in the morning to get you ready for the last day of the week. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, you can reach me at EC Sports Invest. You can reach Scotty at Webby20MLB, and you can talk you don't want to talk anymore on our Discord channel. If you're not on there, DM us. We'll see what we can do to get you on there. And lastly, send us an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. For as little as $2 a day, I said $2 a day, you can get VIP delivery, text and email and Discord channel. So hit us up on that one. Other than that, if you are wagering or investing today, please do it responsibly. If you do have a problem, ask for help. There's an 800 number available. Why, you ask? Because myself and Scotty care. We want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty Webb at Webby20MLB, we wish everyone a blessed evening. Go out, have a nice dinner. Pass the apps, a couple cold ones, maybe a cigar, and we'll see you in the morning.